All right, so you're ready to dive into the world of warped pond coin mining on Pond0x. Well, you've come to the right place because in this deep dive, we're going to break down this how-to mine guide step by step.
And let me tell you, right off the bat, this guide, it kind of reads like they're setting the stage, managing expectations, maybe even, dare I say, building a little FOMO.
Yeah, definitely picking up what you're putting down there.
Because right from the get-go, it's all about these seats and daily check-in.
It's like they're creating this exclusive club, this VIP lounge, just for warped pond coin miners.
Exactly. And you want to know if it lives up to the hype.
That's a great question. Imagine, like, earning passive income, right, just by, holding crypto.
Whoa.
That's what Pond0x users have collectively achieved,
Yeah.
sharing over $30 million in rewards already
Wow.
today.
Yeah, it's
We're going to unpack how their mining works, what makes it stand out, and what you need to know to
Yeah.
potentially get in on the action, right?
It's definitely caught my eye, yeah. There's a lot more to this platform than just memes.
Right,
Though they certainly have fun with that.
right.
Yeah.
Don't let the playful frog logo fool you.
Yeah.
There's serious tech under the hood.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get into the nitty-gritty, tell me,
Sure.
have you ever wondered, like, why checking in for a flight is such a big deal?
Because missing your flight is a drag.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But also it's about confirming your seat,
Mhm.
right, on that plane.
Yeah.
Pond0x uses a similar idea for their mining rewards.
Ah, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
It's all about verifying your crypto wallet. So they know exactly where to send those rewards.
You got it.
Yeah.
No sneaking onto this crypto plane.
Yeah, yeah.
You need a valid ticket, your connected wallet.
Right. Right.
Now, the interesting thing, are we talking about a limited number of mining slots, like a first-come, first-served kind of deal?
You hit the nail on the head. It could be Pond0x's way of controlling the flow, preventing the coin from being mined too rapidly.
Which, of course, in the world of crypto, scarcity often translates to.
Value. It's a classic supply and demand dynamic, and it definitely adds another layer of intrigue to this whole mining game. Speaking of intrigue, once you're past this whole seat situation, the guide jumps into activating your mining rig.
And this is where Solana enters the picture.
Exactly. But it's not just a simple plug-and-play kind of deal. They've got options, 1, 10, or 20 Solana to activate.
And that tiered system, that's what really caught my eye, too. It's almost like they're implementing, what's it called, proof of stake?
You got it. And that's a whole other rabbit hole we could go down.
Oh, we could definitely do a whole deep dive just on proof of stake. But for the sake of our listeners who might not be familiar, what does that essentially mean?
In a nutshell, putting out more Solana, it's like putting more skin in the game. The more you stake, the better your chances of validating transactions, and ultimately, the higher your potential rewards.
So it's not just about paying a fee to activate your rig. It's about potentially increasing your odds of actually mining some warped pond coin.
Precisely. And as if that wasn't interesting enough, they throw in another twist. Boosting.
Yeah, the good old boost.
Yeah.
And again, we've got options, right? 0.1, 1, 2, or 5 Solana to give your rig that extra oomph.
It's like they're saying, hey, want to get ahead in this mining game? Well, you got to be willing to invest a little more. And from a user experience perspective, it's brilliant.
Oh, absolutely. It's like those mobile games where you can pay to skip the wait or level up faster.
Yeah.
It taps into that instant gratification mentality.
Exactly. And it keeps users engaged, invested in the ecosystem. But just when you think you're ready to hit that mine button and start raking in the warped pond coin, they hit you with a curveball.
The manifest needs to settle. I gotta be honest, when I first read that, I was like, the what needs to do what now?
Right. It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, but there's got to be a technical reason behind this whole settling period, and especially that 10-second wait.
10 seconds? I mean, is that some magic number in the blockchain universe? What's
Uh-huh.
going on during that time?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? My theory. Data synchronization. Remember, we're dealing with a blockchain here. Everything needs to be in sync.
So it's like all the computers in the network, all the nodes, they're having a quick chat, making sure everyone's on the same page about your mining rig status before you can actually start mining.
Precisely. Or it could be a security measure, a way to prevent any funny business from happening. But whatever it is, it's clear that Pond0x has put a lot of thought into the technical underpinnings of this whole system.
And that's what makes it so fascinating to dissect. It's like they're constantly keeping you on your toes, throwing in these little wrinkles that make you think, what's the strategy here?
Exactly. And that's what sets this apart from your typical mining experience. It's not just about brute force computing power. It's about understanding the nuances, the game theory at play.
It's like they're playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers.
That's a great way to put it.
Yep.
But okay, so let's say our manifest has settled. We're all synced up and ready to go.
We hit that mine button, right?
That's right. But here's where the guide throws another curveball. They stress the importance of speed, warning that if you're not quick enough, you'll get, and I quote, boned.
Boned. Okay, that's a new one.
Right, like what does that even mean in this context? But it definitely piques your curiosity, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And honestly, it kind of makes you a little nervous to hit that mine button.
Well, and this is where understanding the underlying tech comes in handy. See, when you're mining on a blockchain, you're essentially racing to solve complex equations.
The faster you solve them, the more warped pond coin you earn, right?
Exactly.
So this daily check-in, it could be more than just a way for Pond0x to keep tabs on their miners.
It could be a vital part of their security protocol, a way to authenticate users and prevent those kinds of exploits from happening.
A digital handshake to verify your identity. Makes you appreciate the complexity of what they're building.
Absolutely. But let's assume for a moment that you've dodged the boned bullet, you've confirmed your transaction lightning fast, and now you're staring at the joining screen.
What are we looking for at this point? Give us the rundown.
The guide mentions a few key indicators. First, you want to see a hash rate in.
Hash rate, that's our mining rig's processing power, right?
Exactly. Think of it as your mining muscle. The higher the hash rate, the more calculations your rig can churn through per second.
And the more warped pond coin you're potentially going to mine. So in this case, higher is generally better.
To a point. The guide actually warns against hash rates that are too high, saying that going above 700 or 800 could increase the risk of, you guessed it, getting slashed.
Slashed. Okay, this guide loves its jargon. What exactly does that mean? Is it like getting boned, but worse?
It's definitely in the same ballpark. A slash, as far as we can gather, is a penalty that results in a loss of mining progress.
So there's a sweet spot for maximizing your hash rate without setting off any alarm bells.
Exactly. It's like they're saying, yeah, you can push your rig, but don't get greedy. And speaking of alarm bells, there's another visual cue the guide mentions: green flashes on your mining rig screen.
Green flash is good, red flash is bad. I think I'm getting the hang of this. But what do those flashes actually represent?
From what I can gather, green flashes indicate that your mining rig is actively mining and validating transactions on the Pond0x blockchain.
So it's a visual confirmation that everything is running smoothly, that you're contributing to the network.
Precisely. But if you start seeing red flashes, that's when you know something's up.
And that's where those slashes come into play.
Exactly. The guide links red flashes to having your wallet open on another device while you're mining.
Wait, so if I have my phone open, I could get penalized. Why is that? It just seems counterintuitive, that having my wallet open somewhere else would be a problem. It's not like I'm trying to spend the same warped pond coin twice.
Right, that's what's so head-scratching about it. But it does hint at some pretty serious security measures on Pond0x's part. It's like they're one step ahead, trying to anticipate any potential exploits.
So it's like trying to use the same ticket to enter a concert twice. The system is designed to flag that as suspicious.
Exactly. And remember, we're talking about a blockchain here. Transparency and immutability are key, so any attempt to game the system is going to leave a trail.
Makes you think twice about trying to pull a fast one. So red flashes, close all Pond0x tabs, reboot. Got it. Now let's talk about this mining log. Is it as exciting as it sounds?
Well, it's not exactly a page-turner, but it is important. Think of it as your mining diary. It keeps track of all your recent activity, good or bad.
So it's less about juicy gossip and more about cold, hard data.
Exactly. The guide specifically mentions that it logs the last 10 actions, things like when your rig was initialized, its connection status, any error messages that popped up.
Basically, a breadcrumb trail of your mining journey?
Precisely. And the guide emphasizes the importance of actually paying attention to those breadcrumbs, understanding the different messages and what they mean.
So it's like being able to diagnose your own mining rig, knowing the difference between a minor hiccup and a full-blown system meltdown.
Exactly. You become your own tech support. But let's say everything runs smoothly, you've dodged all the boned and slashed pitfalls, and you've successfully mined 100 million warped pond coins.
100 million? That's a weirdly specific number. Any theories on why that's the magic threshold?
It's hard to say for sure. It could be a way to regulate the frequency of payouts, kind of like hitting a checkpoint in a video game before you can collect your rewards.
Interesting. So once you hit that 100 million mark, what happens? Do you just click a button and the warped pond coin magically appears in your wallet?
Not quite. The Stop Anyway button, remember that one? It transforms into a Stop and Claim button.
Okay, hit that and then what? Is it instant gratification time?
Not so fast. The guide throws in another curveball, and this one's kind of quirky. They recommend taking a 20-minute break.
A 20-minute break. Seriously. What are we supposed to do for 20 minutes while our precious warped pond coin is just hanging out there in limbo?
That's the million-dollar question. The guide says it's to conserve your hash rate. Now, whether that's a technical necessity or just a friendly suggestion is up for debate.
Maybe they're just looking out for our sleep-deprived eyes, encouraging us to step away from the screen for a bit. But it definitely adds another layer of mystery to this whole process.
Absolutely. And it speaks to the fact that we're still in the early days of this technology. There's a lot we don't know, a lot of experimentation happening, and that's what makes it so exciting.
We've covered a lot of ground today, from activating those mining rigs and deciphering hash rates to navigating the perilous waters of boned and slashed status. Who knew mining could be so intense?
Right. It's a wild west out there, but with a little guidance, a little bit of luck, and a whole lot of caution, there's definitely potential to strike digital gold.
Just remember, always do your research, stay informed, and never invest more than you can afford to lose. Until next time, happy mining.